Hello. I enjoyed listening to your post this week. I also talked about having the same high academic expectations for all of our students. Um, I really agree with the fact that if you don't hold everybody to the same standard, if you don't, um, if all children don't think that you think that they're capable just because of their behavior or their background, then they're not going to rise to the occasion um, and reach their full potential because they're already being told that they can't do it. Um, and I liked your example, um, or when you were talking about, that um, if they're not pushed, then they might have a different outcome. And the stereotype of being lazy, if anyone thinks that someone already thinks that they're lazy, then they might just internalize that and think that it's true, um, and and not reach their full potential just because they've been told from the beginning that they don't have the fortitude or the um, work ethic to do it. And then you were also talking about you picked the one about curriculum that's fairly inaccurate, or that fairly and accurately reflects the cultures and including that into the materials. Um, Having a variety of people and cultures to make sure that it's meaningful and not just thrown in for the sake of being there. I think it's really important, like you said, that things are purposeful. Um, uh, because kids can tell, if something's just spoken about once and not um, really, then that's, they won't think that it's that important. It's not that important to you to talk about it or to include it throughout the year. It only is important enough to get mentioned. Um, and you had said that you live in a predominantly Hispanic community. So it's really important for you to also incorporate other cultures too, so that all kids can see themselves in their curriculum. I think that's really important. Um, you know, as a child who grows up seeing themselves represented all the time, you don't think about other children who don't see themselves represented in their daily life and what kind of impact that has on them. Um, and then your third one was having educators that consider languages and customs when interacting with the parents. And I really liked that. And on this one, you were talking about how we want to teach kids to be empathetic and treat people with respect, and so that starts with how they see us treating their parents. And I hadn't thought about um, it in that terms when it comes to being culturally responsive. um you were talking about they're always watching and learning, and we need to be building a positive relationship not just with our student but with their parents as well, because that's going to make the kids feel safe and secure too, because their parents are the most important people to them. And if we're being dismissive of their parents, then that's going to cause insecurity with them. If we don't think the people who are most important in the world to them are important or worth, going out of our way for, to communicate with and make feel included, then they might start thinking, that their parents are something, not to be proud of because they can't speak the language or they're not like everybody else. So I really liked the fact that you brought up, how we treat the parents. Not only does it make the parents feel good, and included and like they're in a safe place and like we care, it also shows the kids how, we treat their parents, and whether or not we think they're, important enough to go out of our way for. Um, and then you're talking about, whether or not it would be easy or difficult, um, and that people might could sometimes misinterpret things. let me see, I'm sorry. Oh, and that it could, if you're not culturally responsive, that it could build a wall up between you and your students, and that's, the last thing we want to do. We're trying to build connections. So I liked that um, analogy that you made. So I gave me some things to think about, and I enjoyed your post this week. Thanks.